we're going to talk primarily about two systems today, our GT and our fleet system. This is going to be mostly over the fleet system and how to utilize it. When you log in, this is going to be the first screen you see. It's going to have essentially your main mapping dashboard. We've got a list of vehicles over here to our left. We've got our map right here. Right now you can see no vehicles are moving. So when you first log in, right here, it may say uninstalled, that you don't have any vehicles currently installed. So until you power devices on, they will show uninstalled. And then once they become installed, they'll be listed right here with the either stopped or moving. But what you'll want to do first is come up here to Data Admin. When you go to Data Admin, you'll see Vehicles, and you will have all your devices, whether it's cameras or just the tracking devices for the cars, whether they're OBD2 or wired. And what you'll do is you'll click on them, and this is where you can change the name of the vehicle. So you will usually have this number that's associated with the device up here, and you just change the name of this vehicle. And this could be Ford F-250, and we'll just change that to that right there. So we'll say Ford F-250 OBD2. And we're not going to change groups or anything. We're just going to leave it as is, and we're going to say Save Changes. And there we have the name change. Now the second biggest thing is we need to assign this device a driver. So we'll come down to drivers, and if you already have the drivers made, that's good. It's right here. If you want to change the drivers or add a new one, you would just press New, and then type in the driver's name, John Doe. And I always do text message, and the text messaging is good because if you want to dispatch the drivers to certain locations, you'll need to have his phone number saved in here so that he gets a phone number directly into his thing. So we're just going to save this blank for now and just let you see it right there. So it added that driver. You can add a picture of the drivers if you want to, and anything else. So once you have your vehicles and your drivers, you can go back to your vehicles list, and you can click on your vehicle and then assign a driver to that vehicle. So we're going to assign me to this Ford F-250, and then Save Changes. And that way it knows that I'm driving that F-250. Now we're going to go back and actually just change it back to Cody and press Save Changes. And now it's saved for him. Now we're going to go back to the mapping screen and take a look at some features here. Any vehicle that's currently moving will be in green on this Fleet Track Services website. If you want to see, let's say we want to see where this F-250 has gone today, we're just going to click on this right here, just anywhere, and we're going to see today's trip list. So this is going to start from this morning all the way till whatever time it is, exactly whenever we press that button. And we can see that the trip list starts down here. We're going to scroll in to where they started this morning, and it shows there's two. We're going to zoom back out. So it looks like it drove around. So this purple line, it drove around a little bit first, and then this was the next line. It just kind of shows you where they've been. The map kind of changes based on how zoomed in and out you are. And then we're just going to zoom out, and we can see every time this driver has stopped, also every time that he is idled. So a lot of times when they're stopping, they might sit there and idle for a bit, depending on how the guys are using their truck to be driven. And sometimes you're not stopping for that long, so it's just enough to make an idle mark on the screen here. All right, we're going to go back to mapping, and same truck, we're going to say view stopped locations, and it's only going to put those stopped locations on the map. All right, now we're going to go back to mapping again, and if we want to see next we would do, if you want to see reports, so say you want to know exactly how long they're stopping at certain areas, you would go up here to Data Admin. All right, once we're in Data Admin, we can, or actually we can go to reports, and for those that bill off stopped hours and those that bill off idle hours, idle detail report is a good one. We're only going to select that F250 right now and just have today's date and time frame in it. We're just going to tell it to get the report. So it's going to populate this right here, this one truck, with all the time that it has been idling today up until this point, which is roughly 3:21 in the afternoon. So this right here is all the times that the truck idled. You can compare it to the addresses that it's idling at if you need to bill based on stop time. The next thing, a good detail report would be the stop report. And let's see here. Stop, not, we don't want landmarks, we just want stop detail report. We're going to tell it to fetch that. Oh, it's not state. Stop detail report. Stop detail report. There we go. Get report. All right, now we're displaying all the times the vehicle is stopped and for how long it stopped for. So this is good for if you're trying to bill off of how much time a vehicle stayed at one place. Now, a lot of times you might get double addresses, so you'll have to combine the minutes essentially. Or if they're really just stopping, you can just take off the shop hours minus the total hour time to show you kind of how long that truck was out and at destinations for. If you want to go back to the idle report, it's going to be down here on the bottom left. You can click back to idle details and pull more time from that or whatever needs you. You can get a PDF of it and an Excel file of it if you have any questions about that. Now we're going to go back to mapping. Dashboard right here is going to show all your vehicles and it's kind of going to give them a grade for how everything is going. If you wanted to see fleet safety, you can click that. You can click on this and it will kind of give you a detailed report of what's happening. We'll go to the camera system here. If you are equipped with one of the cameras, the dash cameras and GPS trackers, you can get good useful information out of that. So let's take a look at this one here, this Ford Explorer with the dash cam. We're going to click on it and we're going to say see today's trip list. And this is everywhere that we've driven this vehicle today. Now I've been purposely driving it a little rough, trying to do hard turns, and I have left my seatbelt off just to make sure that it would catch those. And what you'll see on this map here is of everywhere I've driven it today. So we're just going to kind of follow it where we started off at. This light, we're going to call this a teal line, was my wife driving it this morning. You can see she went up Memorial, turned right, went and dropped our kid off at school, came up here to her parents' house to feed the dogs. Then from there, drove through Bixby a little bit. She had a eye doctor's appointment this morning, so this is this green line coming up here. She went around the office of the eye doctor's building, came back to work, and this is where I took over from this pink line. And you can see that there's live stream notifications. This is whenever somebody has physically told the device to display and stream the live stream from the camera. But we're going to follow this back down here, and we're going to see this one that says no seatbelt. So we're going to click on it and say watch video. It's going to show where it was at, and it's going to display that I clearly wasn't wearing a seatbelt whenever it took this notification. And we can also click here and you can download that information if you'd like to download it for purposes later. All right, we're going to close up here in the top right. We're going to keep going down here and we're going to see a severe turn. So we're going to click on that and we're going to say watch the video. And you can see as I'm coming up to the neighborhood, I kind of swerve hard into it. At speed, it's enough to tip the sensor and say that was a severe turn. And you can go from there. You can see I'm still not wearing a seatbelt. The camera has different focal levels as well. So, and you can see exactly on this map where that hard turn happened at. So we're going to close that. Now, if you want to do driver's coaching, you can say add to driver's coaching list. up here it says coaching event has been added successfully. And so what that does is it's just kind of a reminder that you need to talk to one of your employees about their driving habits. And once that's done, you can go to data admin and go to, let's see here. I want to say it was actually alerts, and go to drivers coaching. We're going to select all vehicles pending. And there should be a message here that shows that that we added that behavioral thing. Driver behavior, yep. So we're gonna go back to mapping. I do want to show you the other portal. This is the beta portal for this exact same system. It's just going to look a little bit different. They tried to make it a little more friendly and user friendly. So this is the exact same thing as what you just saw. This on mapping screen is just like this on mapping screen. It's just kind of placed a little different. And we can do all the same features. If we want to see this vehicle right here, we can click in on it. We can see vehicle details that I'm the driver of it. It's got the mileage, engine hours, the device ID is saved right here. What we can do is we can say trip history. And this one loads the trip history a little bit differently. It doesn't show all the trip history, it shows individual driving sections from that trip history. You also have the notifications, whether it's got no seatbelt or not. We'll say right here it says no seatbelt. Let's click on it. We can watch the video. And so you can see I'm not wearing my seatbelt. I've got my daughter in the car and a dog in the back. You can replay the videos, and you can see exactly where it took that video at. And so say we want to do the add to driver coaching list. So we're going to press add to drivers coaching list. To see that, we're going to go to alerts, drivers coaching, and then it's going to list it right here, and it says pending. If you talk to your driver, you just go over here to the complete coaching list and mark it down as completed. That way they know that they've been notified, and it keeps a record of that. We go back to mapping real quick. We'll look at this one here and say we want to do its trip history. Let's see here, trip history. And this is just doing small trips from start to stop. And we can go to the very first one where it was at the shop this morning. So this is the first trip that it noticed from start to stop. The next one is going to be here. The next one will be here, and the next one, and so forth as you go up the list of where it's been. And we'll go back to mapping. You have AI media here, and this is where it keeps all the media files and event histories for the cameras. So we'll click that, and you can see that it's got everything from today that the camera has recorded that's worthy of recording. So any of these live streams have just been whenever somebody's clicked live stream to record it. So if we want to take a look at that, we can press here. And essentially it just shows me waiting in line to pick up my daughter earlier. If somebody wanted to see that, they would have pressed it just to see what the driver was doing essentially. And that's pretty much it. It's just kind of playing around with this. Alerts, once you get your system and you want to set it up, you do want to go to your alerts panel and you want to go set up your alert settings. So you'll want to go through each one of these and set up specific alerts. So say stop alerts, I want to know when my driver has come to, or when that car essentially has come to a stop. If it's longer than X amount of minutes, you know, like for lunches or something like that, say you kind of want to know how long their lunch stops are, you can put this period at 60 minutes, and if the vehicle stopped for longer than 60 minutes, it will send you a text message saying that there's been a long stop alert. Speed alerts, this is for whatever the posted speed limit is that Google uses. It will send a text message if you go over those values. So we've got one that is plus 2 miles per hour above, and these are user set. I set them at whatever I want them to be, for whatever vehicles I want them to be. So anytime a vehicle goes over 2 miles per hour faster than the relative speed of that road, it will send a message to me. Um, this one's for 10 above whatever the relative speed of that road is. If you don't want to get lots of messages, you can say 1 message per hour on whatever alerts you want, or you can assign it to a specific vehicle. So if you have one specific driver in a vehicle that tends to speed, you can select just his vehicle to get those speed alerts on. Maintenance, you can set up maintenance intervals for all of the devices that you have, or vehicles essentially, so that say you want to keep an eye on oil changes on the trucks and get notices, you can set them at whatever interval you want it to be at. Low batteries, typically anything less than 11.5 volts makes the vehicle hard to start. So if you want to make sure some of your guys aren't coming out to dead batteries, somebody in the company can be selected to get an alert for that. Landmarks is just whatever. Landmarks are essentially geozones. Whenever the vehicle enters or exits, you can have it send you a message. And there's a couple other features with it, but we're not really going to go over those right now. Incidents alerts. So an incident alert happens when the vehicle comes to a sudden stop. So you'll get a harsh braking or more than a harsh braking. And if the vehicle doesn't travel within 400 feet within that 10 minutes after that incident or after that hard braking, the system considers that a incident alert, and it will send a message. So sometimes if you got a driver that has hit something and it's been at least 10 minutes, it will send a message saying that there's been an incident alert. Idle alerts work kind of on the same thing. You turn them whatever minute period you would like, and it will send you a text message if the vehicle has been stopped but not turned off, but the engine is on and it's idling. So I know for some businesses, they allow their employees to idle their vehicles. This would be good for if you say, well, we're okay with them idling for 5, 10, 15 minutes, but 30 minutes is too long. You can change this to say 30 minutes by editing it and just changing the time interval. GPS alert is just with GPS signals lost and comes back on. Somebody might want to know that. It's not really all that useful. Driver behavior, you can change what vehicles, whether it's for all vehicles or just one vehicle, or if you've added more than one group, you can change what group the driver behavior notifications get sent at. After hours is if the vehicle, say all the drivers shouldn't be driving their vehicles on the weekends, you can specify what time frame, and if they're driving it from say Friday or essentially Saturday morning at 12 a.m. in the morning to Sunday at 12 a.m., you'll get a text message letting them know. So that's pretty much it for the alerts. Recipients is who the device is going to send text messages to. And then, of course, driver coaching is just that. It just makes a note in the file, and then you can tell it that you've talked to the driver. Alert history is just all the alerts that the system goes through. And you can see those. So there's some geozones left and entered, landmarks, essentially, hard turns, stop alerts, idle alerts, and whatnot. And you can filter those down, change them, do it for all vehicles, do it for the current week. We're going to go back to the main system here, though. Again, here's the AI media files. Again, you can pull any of these up by just clicking on them. This is one that I pulled up whenever the car was just sitting parked. So as far as the camera systems go, if you want to view the camera data, it will call the camera and wake it up from a stop. Even if there's nobody in the car, if you just want to see what's going on inside the car or outside the car, you can turn that camera on remotely. We've already went through the alerts, and this is all the alerts that we have set up for us. Again, data admin has your vehicles list, your drivers, your list history. So this is the alert history that the device has seen from all the long stops and idles and whatnot. Door unlocks, users. The user here, this is where you would set up multiple people to be able to view the system and have multiple people be able to log in. Reports, this is reports again. We have already made a couple of those, like our idle report and our stop detail report. Again, driver ratings. So far, the Ford F-250's got 100% rating, so that's pretty good. And one other thing, so if, say, you want to dispatch a driver to a certain area, we'll say 2450 East Marshall Street in Tulsa. 410. We'll tell it to go. That'll pull up this spot on the map. Okay, this is University of Tulsa North Campus. What we can do now is, now that we have this place on the map, we can select a vehicle to go to that place. So we're going to put this one here, and we want to say dispatch to. And what it will do is it will pull up where that driver's at, and it will give directions, step-by-step turn directions to that location. And we're just going to say pick up at TU North Campus. And as soon as I press send, that actually sends a text message with this information and this address to that driver that they need to go there. Essentially, it provides a Google map of the driving instructions. And so now we've just dispatched that driver to that area. So we're going to clear it off. So this would be a good way if you have somebody that stays and monitors the system, takes orders and information for them to dispatch drivers to it. So system's pretty straightforward. If you have any other questions on how it works, just give us a holler and we'll be happy to help you out. Thanks.